Welcome to the second of the programming exam solution tutorials, PESTs, for the Noughts and Crosses Comp 1 exam. This time we're going to look at the validation that stops the overwriting of symbols, so the one that stops people using the same coordinate twice. So either an X overwriting an X, don't know why I'd want to do that, or an X overwriting an O, or vice versa. One of the little problems with this check is that it will have to refer to the array, and that array has only got 9 elements in it. So if we refer to an element that isn't in the array, the program will throw an exception, it will crash. But in actual fact the array is very simple. We're just going to check, does a particular element of an array have a space in it? Well, I guess you could check to see if it had an X or an O, but it's easy to check to see if it's got a space in it. So let's have a look at some code. One thing you will notice is that I'm working from a clean version of the code every time. So this is, I've taken out the Y coordinate validation, although of course in the exam you may have your Y coordinate validation in there. The easiest way to do this, although I don't think it's the most elegant, is simply to check that valid move is still true. If valid move is false, then it means probably that you're going to try and refer to an element of the array that isn't there, and we'll get an exception. So I'm simply go if valid move equals true, true, and then I'm going to let VB do the rest of it. And now I'm going to put my validation within there. So this bit of code can only run if valid move is still true. So what we're going to do here is put in another if statement, and I've got it prepared. If board X coordinate Y coordinate, so that's the current coordinate that we're dealing with, is not a space, so if the array with the current coordinates that the user has just typed in is not a space, then make valid move equal to false. So if the current move is currently true in terms of it being on the board, i.e. the X coordinates between 1 and 3 and the Y coordinates between 1 and 3, although we haven't done the Y coordinate in this particular version, and the X coordinate is a space, then it's a valid move. If the coordinate is not a space, then it must be an X or an O, and it will be an overwrite, and it's simple as that. So obviously we've got to very quickly run it to make sure this works, and that will just take a second. Okay, I'll just pause the video while I set up the game. I'll put a couple of in. Let's just check that 2 now won't overwrite, so that's not a valid move. Okay, let's try 1 1, so that's both symbols checked, and let's just try a 1 2, so that would be one where the X coordinate would be an overwrite but the Y coordinate is also an overwrite, but they're different, so let's just check that be fine, and it is. Smashing.